Hey, Cat Hartliebe, aka Todd Leben. I have Poem a Day, May 2020. This one is my poem book that survived the unpublishing group. Every other poem book of mine has been deleted or unpublished, not necessarily deleted. I could still have them. If you're like, oh, would it be possible if you give me a copy of Poem a Day, May 2015, where Cyril has his first poems in it? And I'd be like, you know what? I can give you an e-copy. I may have a print copy that I could send you as well that's signed, both of us. But if you want to buy it through Amazon, this was the old one. Now, I do have Uplifted now. Uplifted is just published. I do not have a copy like this yet. I can show you what it would look like, but I do not have it. And that is my second full poem book. Now, all the ones in Hartliebe Poems and Books has poems in it. Of the Coming of the Moon has poems in it. They're poems and shorts. And Kevin has Pre-13, which is their poem book, and they are all poems. So there is that. But Poem a Day May 2020 is the only one to survive the breakdown between Cat Hartliebe when I had my massive breakdown from my last rape to turning into Todd Leben and Cat Gillette. Now, part of it is because I didn't feel like doing trigger warnings for them. Part of it is because I wasn't as happy with the books. This one I was happy with. It was worthwhile the effort to make it into the quality. I did a serious editing job on this one, though. So I was like, I put a lot of work into it. Why not spend the next half hour getting the triggers up and then publishing it again? Because I spent a lot of time on the cover, both back and front. I spent a lot of time making sure all the poems were quality. I did that with Uplifted this time, and I was very happy that I only had to revamp 3. I did minor corrections on the rest, almost all of them, and then I had to completely redo 3 of them. So much so that even though it's a new draft, it's so different from the previous poem that it really is a different poem. So I will use the last one. It's not a true edit, but I will say that is a different poem. It's a more raw, more rough version of a similar topic, of a similar purpose. And that means those poems will end up in my all or nothing poem book, because I'll do all those. They're different, but they're the same. So like Fall in Love, I had that happen. I was looking through it, and I don't know where my All or Nothing poem book went. Oh, there it is. This big thing. I was looking through it, and Fall in Love did an update for a gift. It's in here. I know it's in here. I just did it. This one. And if we look in here, because I got Hartliebe poem and book here, that looks kind of different, doesn't it? Yeah, I revamped it. I revamped it for Fall in Love. You don't realize how much work I put into these things before I publish, because it's like, but you decided on doing it on Monday, and then you publish it on Friday. I'm like, I still put like 20 hours worth of work into that. And it just came together. It worked. It doesn't always work, and it sometimes ends up needing a lot of work. I've already put 20 hours worth of work into this thing. I've already put more than that into Dove. Not sure where I put Dove. Most of my work ends up needing more than I desire. Uplifted. I ended up doing Uplifted. It was, when I suggested that I was going to take 5 hours, it took more than 5 hours. And that's because I had to go through and be more specific and make sure that I hit every single poem and make them all beautiful and perfect. And it was so exhausting. But I knew how to, and that makes it faster. I have mastery in this. But that just means I can do it. It's still exhausting. It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of work. You have to go and find people to talk to and realize that pretty much all my poems have a different person that I have chatted with over. Although my mom has pretty much seen everything, because she lives in the next room over. So I was like, Mom, I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Can I read it out loud to you? And normally she gives me no help whatsoever, but reading it out loud helps me. She was the one I leaned on for mastery back before college when I gained mastery, and I realized my mom kind of sucks at it. She's not very good. You know how they talk about different levels of proficiency? I'm like, she's really good for the average American, for the average English speaker. You know, she can get it to a point where you can easily communicate and people understand and it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I've reached bestseller category now. She reaches what you find in an everyday book. It's a little different. So I have very few people who can help me at my level, but they'll notice things that I don't. So I, various people. It's fun. It's fine. It's fine. The more help you get when you're doing your edits and you're working through the processes, the better you are. Just 13-year-olds aren't really very useful. I keep going to child because I keep wanting him to see the difference between where I start and where I end, because he doesn't realize how much of a change typically happens. Alright, so if you notice in Poem a Day May 2020, it does have both copyrights, Todd Leben and Hartliebe, because it was copyrighted to Hartliebe, and I am the same person, and I own it both ways. It's just I copyrighted it up to the new author. And dedication to poetry and music lovers, because this was Poem a Day May. The challenge was obviously during the month of May of 2020, which was pandemic. We were trapped. It was problematic. So this is very trigger warning. During the month of May 2020, Todd Leben, aka Kat Hartliebe, used songs as a jumping off point for a poem. There were few bonus poems during the month as well. Sarah wrote a couple poems, but really wasn't involved in the month. There's no forcing a child. The poems made because of a song will have double titles. The first is the actual name of the poem, followed by the title of the song and singer in parentheses. Several of them have the same title as the title song. At the end of the book will be a list of all the songs so people could listen to Poem a Day May playlist. When I first created this book, when I was working on it, from that month of May, because I was posting on the blog for the most part. Many of them got on the blog. Many of them are still on the blog. I created a Poem a Day playlist during that May, and until I had my breakdown in November, December of 2021, it was available, and I deleted the playlist like I deleted everything else. And I haven't rebuilt it, and I have no desire to rebuild it. If someone would like me to, I can. I do have the full list here. During May 2020, Todd Leben, aka Kat Hartliebe, was under quarantine for COVID-19. The confinement impacted the poems written during the month. This is another reason why Sarah was not pushed to create poetry. She was not pushed to do much of anything. If you have any questions or comments, always reach out to me. And I do have my email here. And my Twitter. I did not put my Instagram. If you are interested in the triggers are online. You can't just click the button, it doesn't let me. And I do have the list of all the poems in the back of the book as an index. And I always tag out when I do my ebooks, but in the back of the book for the paperback, I have the page numbers. Page numbers. So, the only one in here that Kevin was Mom is Crazy. Me and Kevin worked on it together, and maybe I can click it. There we go. Written by Kat and Sarah Hartliebe. It was based off of Crayon by G-Dragon. Many of the songs are G-Dragon or Big Bang. No. Mom is Crazy. How? She talks to cats. She thinks they talk back. Her name is Kat, and her favorite letter is J. The fact she has a favorite letter is crazy, even more so when it doesn't match anything. She writes crazy stories like Dragon Saving the Day, The Good Enemy. She has stuffed animals, and she names them. But I love her anyway. It took a lot to get Kevin to write this. But that's okay. I love child anyway. Alright, if you have any questions, comments, just check me out. All my stuff is on Amazon, so you can just go. If you need the link my website all posts, I have pages for all my books, and each one does have the tag off for the Amazon. All right. So I will chatter more another time. Kat Hartliebe, Todd Lieben, signing out.